How's it going, everybody? In today's video, we're going to be answering a question that I have seen a whole bunch of times since I started working here. I've seen it in the YouTube comments, in the live stream chat, in our Discord online. And that question, here I'll actually throw it up on screen for you, is can the Edge Finder be a good tool for day traders, or is it just for swing traders? And the answer is honestly that it's both. It can be used for day trading and swing trading. Now, I'm here today to show you 4 different ways that you can use the Edge Finder for day trading, because I think that most people view it as a tool that's primarily for swing traders and longer term investment type strategies. But the truth is there are so many useful tabs here in the Edge Finder and multiple ways to use them that it can be used for day trading as well. And the very first thing that I want to show you, the very first example I want to give you is right here on our top setups page. The top setups page is the perfect place to start because it is the accumulation of everything that the Edge Finder has to offer. We have all of these different categories up here, all getting scored, all constantly getting updated to give you an overall bullish, very bullish, neutral, bearish, or sometimes very bearish bias. Now, the first thing that I see when I pull up the top setups, right, my eyes immediately go to this top left corner because I want to see what the very top highest scoring setup is. And today it happens to be the German 30, and I don't focus too much on indices, but right below that we have Euro JPY and Euro Aussie, both with very solid scores of +8, bullish biases. I'll just focus on Euro Yen right here because it's kind of the number 2 option, right? But this is something that most likely normally wouldn't be on my radar as someone who is much more interested in major currency pairs. Euro Yen is something that I could very easily pass over. And if I was a day trader, you don't really want to just sit here and look through chart after chart after chart after chart after chart trying to find something with a strong trend, right? But the top setups page makes it super simple because I know that the higher the score, the more likely that this bullish bias means that this thing is trending, really strong one way or the other. So why don't we pull up Euro JPY? I do have TradingView pulled up here so we can let's see what Euro JPY is looking. Yeah, see, so this is what I mean exactly. Look at how strong this trend is. And this is something that I could have easily passed up just because it's something that I wouldn't have thought to think about. But the Edge Finder does the thinking for me by accumulating this huge list of the top setups, right? And letting me know that Euro JPY with this +8 score, bullish bias, is on a nice uptrend. And that's exactly what we see when we pull up the chart. Right, so if we're taking a look at just today, we can go all the way back. Let's see, so this is where we kind of started today, Tuesday the 19th, and look at that. If you were a day trader and you hopped on this, took this thing to the long side, right, you would have found some really nice entries right here. And that's the whole reason I looked at that I even would have thought to have looked at that is because the top setups page told me that it was a +8 bullish bias. Here, I'll even include my my nice little indicators here. I love these indicators. You can find these indicators on our website, a1trading.com, by the way. They are super useful. But yeah, so why don't we, just for further confirmation, why don't we check out something else? Here, I said I mentioned that I like the US dollar pairs. Here's our first US pair, USD JPY, has a pretty solid score of a +6. Still a bullish bias. So let's see what USD JPY is looking like on the 5-minute chart, and look at that trend to the upside. Are you kidding me? So on a 4-hour chart, we'll go to a higher time frame here first. I mean, that uptrend from yesterday, really this thing started trending super high yesterday, but yesterday and today, huge trend to the upside. If you want to lower it to a lower time frame, if you like to, scalp or day trade, I mean, look at this. Did you know that we have 100% free trading tools and data available for you on our website, a1trading.com, right now? We have free courses for you to browse. You can also check out things like retail sentiment and free articles from our analyst Frank that include things like Edgefinder screenshots and trade setups. You can find all of this and so much more for free right now on our website, a1trading.com. Really nice move to the upside. No signs of slowing down quite yet. And I didn't even really have to think about what to take a look at because the Edgefinder has this custom curated list for me. Now, that's not to say that just because USDJPY has a bullish bias, I'm just going to hop on my broker and just enter in a long position, right? We know not to just do that, but it makes it super easy when I want to, figure out what chart I want to look at next. Because the Edgefinder is doing all that hard work for me and accumulating this nice list of bullish biases. So that is example number 1 for how to use it when day trading. Example number 2, another thing that I love, COT data. So COT data, the commitment of traders data, otherwise known as institutional traders or smart money traders, however you like to refer to them. These guys are the best in the business at what they do. They are professional traders who get paid lots and lots of money to trade, and each week they release a report of what they are long and short on. And the Edgefinder does an incredible job of compiling all of that information together and displaying it in a super easy to read way, and it's getting updated as soon as the new COT report comes out. So what we're looking at here is this bar chart. This is the main thing that I want to focus on when it comes to the day trading aspect, because while this chart down here is really cool and probably my favorite feature on the Edgefinder because it compares last week's COT report to this week's COT report and it looks for changes between the two so that we can see how things are shifting and how things are changing. This is just the overall long and short percentage bias on each of these different assets that we're tracking in the Edgefinder. So if we use Euro JPY like we were using earlier, for example, we can see that COT is heavily favored short on the yen right now. 74.11% of institutional traders are shorting the Japanese yen. But on the other hand, the euro, 61.86% of institutional traders are long euro. So long euro, short yen, that lines up exactly with what we were taking a look at earlier with the euro yen cross, right? We're seeing big, strong moves to the upside because we're long euro and we're short yen. That lines up with what COT is saying. So that's just further confirmation for me, at least in the short term until things change. That's further confirmation for me to look for euro yen trade setups to the long side, right? So that's example number 2 of how the Edgefinder can be used for day trading. Example number 3 is actually 2 in 1, and that's AAII investor sentiment and the put call ratio because they are very similar. Let me explain. So AAII Investor Sentiment Survey is the American Association of Individual Investors, and this surveys a number of individual investors on where they think the market is heading over the next 6 months, and this report is done every 7 days. So every single week, these investors are getting asked, are you bullish, bearish, or neutral on stock market output over the next 6 months? And you can see how their opinions change on a week-by-week basis. This is a really cool thing to see. So this was a couple weeks ago, right? And this yellow line here is what we really want to pay attention to because this is the difference between bullish and bearish. So as long as this yellow line is positive, that means that they are more bullish than they are bearish when it comes to stock market sentiment. So we can see week by week, their bullishness actually rose in the stock market. So if I'm noticing this, right, if I'm on like this week here and the week before, it's higher than it was the week before, and it's higher than it was the week before that, then I may look for long possibilities on things like the indices, right? And then another week it went higher, another week it went higher, and then it started to dip a little bit. But this is on a week by week basis. So you might be thinking to yourself, how does this help with day trading, right? If we're talking about, you know, 1 full week's worth of data. Well, this is why I think it plays hand in hand really well with the put call ratio, because the put call ratio essentially is showing the same thing, but on a daily basis instead of a weekly basis. So we can keep track of how many puts and calls are being placed on the market. And if you're unfamiliar with what puts and calls are, puts are essentially bearish bets on the stock market. You think that the stock market overall is going to go down, and calls are bullish bets on the stock market. Overall, you think that the stock market is moving higher. So if there are more puts than there are calls, then we are looking at this red bearish sentiment zone here. But if there are more calls than there are puts, then we're looking at the blue bullish sentiment zone here. And you can see as we hover over this, every single day shows a put call ratio number for the overall number of puts and calls placed on the market. So the longer that we are in this bullish sentiment, the more likely it is that stocks and things like that are doing very well. So we can actually look back all the way to March 13th, and we can see that that was the first day that we dropped, first day as of recently, that we dropped into this blue bullish zone right here. And then the next day, same thing, still in the bullish zone, still in the bullish zone, all the way to present date, where we are still in our bullish sentiment zone. So with this and AAII investor sentiment survey both telling me that overall investors are bullish, favored along on stocks and indices at the moment, then that gives me the confirmation I need to go look for potential long setups on things like the indices. That is our third example for how you can use the Edge Finder in your day trading. And lastly, I want to look at simply price forecast. Now we have our price forecast algorithm displayed for you right here so that you can understand, if you want to work out that algorithm for yourself, you would get these same results. We're just very clear and transparent with how we're getting these projections here. We don't want you to, feel like you're lost when you're using the Edge Finder. We want it to be easy to understand. So we literally give you the algorithm that we're using for our price forecast. And let's use Euro JPY just as an example. And then maybe we'll click through a couple more of these. But simply put, with price forecast, I can see the overall trend of an asset and where the Edge Finder's algorithm predicts price is heading. So we've been using Euro JPY as an example, so I'm going to use it one more time. I see that ever since March 12th, so about a week ago, this thing has been in an uptrend, and it hasn't slowed down since. Price forecast predicts that it is going to continue trending in that direction, so that alone gives me a little bit of confirmation to go ahead and look for potential long setups. If we click on something like gold, for example, gold is a lot more flat, right? We kind of topped out here around March 8th. We haven't moved much higher. In fact, we've actually moved down a little bit. Price forecast is showing a little bit of upward momentum, but overall this thing has just kind of been ranging. Doesn't really show me, a clear bias one direction or the other. Why don't we look at what was our bearish setup? So AUD USD is our bearish setup. I'm curious to see if price forecast says that AUD USD is going to keep moving lower. AUD USD, yeah, so we can see again, price kind of topped out here. And then starting March 14th, we started our strong downtrend. Price forecast is predicting that it is going to continue to move down over the next couple of days. So because of that, I might look for potential short setups. And you can do that with any of these assets. I'll just click on a completely random one. How about Pound Swiss? Pound Swiss has been in an uptrend. Pretty solid uptrend to start the month of March. It's slowed down here a bit recently, but price forecast does show me that from yesterday to today, we have risen in price, and that the price forecast predicts that it's going to keep moving higher. So maybe I'll look for some potential long setups. But there was 4 different examples for how you can use the Edge Finder, not just for swing trading, but for day trading as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to leave a comment letting us know what more about the Edge Finder would you like to learn. And if you want the Edge Finder for yourself, you can find it in the links down in the description below, as well as on our website, a1trading.com. And you can get a discount on the Edge Finder when you use promo code A1YT at checkout. Did you know we do a live trading show Monday through Friday with guests from all over the world? To get notified when we go live, click the bell button next to the subscribe button or check in at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. We have helpful, free content in the description below and on our website, a1trading.com. Thanks for watching today's video, and we'll see you tomorrow.